Hello everybody, welcome to another toy review. I am the 80s Transformers fan. Today I have in front of me Titans Returns Deluxe Class Blowpipe and Triggerhappy. And here is the standard packaging that we've all seen before. There is Triggerhappy inside. You can see he's holding a weapon and there's another weapon down to his side. Side of the box is the Titan Master connecting or detaching from the main body. The back of the box is a shot of the product inside the packaging. Here are a couple more figures available. Twin Inferno, Megatron, 6-shot. I have 6-shot. Get to that eventually. I didn't like that Megatron. I didn't grab that Megatron. And I'm on the fence about Twin Inferno. So anyway, get this figure open and get it reviewed. See if I like it, see if I don't like it, see how well he fits into the collection. So, and as you know, I enjoy unboxing on camera. This guy's in there pretty good. Get his collector's card off the back of the packaging. And at the very bottom of the box is the instructions as per the norm. So take a look at the collector's card. The reverse is his tech spec. Well, first the card, same artwork from the packaging, just full body this time. Obviously not a close-up, Hasbro. On the back is his strength, his speed, his intelligence, and his firepower. Both him, Triggerhappy and Blowpipe. Triggerhappy is the red, Blowpipe is the blue, obviously. I guess the max you can reach is a 20 as opposed to the old school 10. There's his collector's card. Get to this guy. See if we can get him out of here. Love the way he looks, by the way. He's probably my favorite Headmaster figure in the G1 line. Smaller scale figure, I should say. Can't touch Fort Max. There he is. He has one more gun that he's not holding. He's got that out of there. I'll get Triggerhappy in frame here. Pretty cool looking. Looks a lot like the G1, which will make an appearance at some point in this video. Take his second gun, put it in his hand, and bring him closer and take a look. There is his face sculpt. Now his face sculpt is more designed after the G1 cartoon than it is the vintage toy. The G1 cartoon gave him this faceplate or mouthpiece. He has a white Decepticon logo there. Why, I don't know. Wish they had hit it with purple. Oh, there's a purple one, but here's his cockpit that opens up and you can put the Titan Master inside there. It's translucent dark blue. Dropped his gun along the way. Come around to the back of his legs. His legs are hollowed out like a lot of these guys, and I'm assuming the thighs collapse down into his legs. His feet has little back stabilizers so he don't fall over. Looks pretty faithful to the G1 toy, which is what I really love. When I pick these guys off the shelf, when I grab them, because I don't grab them all, I get the ones that really inspire that G1. And I know a lot of them do, but I don't grab them all. But here he is. He has a little back kibble. The cockpit's back there. On the G1, the main cockpit sits on his chest. We'll get to that. And now I'm going to remove his guns, get a clearer look, and I'm going to run down this guy's articulation. His head, 360s. He can look slightly up and slightly down. It doesn't really stay there. The Titan Master bobbles around a little bit. His arms, 360. You can raise his shoulder up. Arms up about that high at the shoulder. Has a joint in there. He has a bicep swivel, which you got to kind of remove the gun and get the full range. the arm guns, and nothing at the wrist. It collapses for the transformation, but there's really nothing at the wrist. He just has this biceps slash elbow swivel. He has an elbow bend here as well, and then again you have to move the gun, get it out of the way. But a nice little range of motion in that arm. You can get some pretty decent poses out of it actually. Coming down to his waist, obviously most of these guys don't have any type of ab crunch, but he has a, I guess you call it down here, a waist swivel, and it can 360 completely, come back around. Then his thighs are ball jointed in there. You can get him out that far. He can do a complete split for you. And he has a thigh swivel as well. Pretty good range of articulation on this guy. He has a knee bend, so you can really kind of get him dynamic, like an athletic type combatant on a battlefield out there. And he has really nothing at the foot. I think for the transformation his feet collapse, maybe even fold up. It's pretty much all he has there. Now before I get him transformed, I can tell you that his paint apps are good, nice and tight. There's nothing slop, nothing dripping, nothing bleeding that I can see. Doesn't have a whole lot of paint apps, but he has a few sprinkled in there. Hasbro's known to be stingy with their paint apps. So this is him in his robot mode. And the first thing I'm going to get transformed is his head. Just give it a pull to detach it. It's actually connected by the smaller head. Then one thing I don't like about Hasbro, while I'm giving a close-up on the head, you see his yellow eyes in there, his red mouthpiece, is that they don't put a lot of paint apps on their Titans, or pretty much none. Like as I unfold him, you simply just unfold it. He has articulated arms, for what that's worth. Come up about that far. But the thing about Hasbro, they don't try to paint the visors like Takar. You have some little molded in arms in there, a little molded in fists. But yeah, they don't hit it with any type of paint, which these little things could actually use, man. You could up the price a little bit and give me some some painted body parts to this little guy just to make it stand out, because he's so small. You want to be able to see what's sculpted there. So the little head, it 360s because it allows the main head in robot mode to 360. It has a little bit, a lot of up and down to allow the head to move around in robot mode. I guess it's in there on a little ball joint, if you can see it. Tucked down in his neck and shoulder area. The legs are fused together. Completely G1. The one thing this G1 they could have left in the dark ages is that. And here is his Titan Blowpipe, which was the name of his Target Master gun, if memory serves me well, in the G1. Now to get this guy transformed. See, some of the things look similar to the G1. I'm sure this, yeah, just like the G1. Comes down. I'm guessing his feet tuck away. His thighs probably squeezing here somewhere. See how this is on a hinge joint. Okay, it rotates around. That is pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. Love the rotation. Like I love the rotation on Prowl and Blue Streak. Waist. And anytime it rotates, this guy expands. And it rotates again to get this going. There are a couple pegs, looks like, put these in here on the legs pegged together. It's a long peg and a short peg that holds the two legs together. Guess it sits right there. And there's a notch in there and a peg for it on the wing arm. Straighten those up, come around here. Do the same thing on the equal opposite side. And I think that's it. I think I have it in there. Under the bottom, I see some landing gear. I think one of these guys, I missed the landing gear on. I can't remember who it was. The weapons actually formed the landing gear, but this one looked like it has some really cheap molded wheels right here. Yep, and it sits flat right there. Really sweet G1 faithful look. It has that hint of X-Wing fighter. The guns out here. Star Wars Transformers took a lot from Star Wars, as did a lot of products in the 80s, and blended it into their toy line. And the cockpit still opens in this mode. And there's a little molded in detail. It has a little dashboard. It'd been cool if it had some paint or some stickers in there. And it has some molded in detail inside. Take Blowpipe, get them inside. I love that you can get figures in all of their guys in the Titans Return line. Close that up. It's not very visible in there. You can see a little white of his chest. I guess you can see his head a little bit. Love this mode. Love the Cybertronian jets because they retain their home look. It is really cool getting these guys in the G1 line, even in this line. So we're not looking at all Earth vehicles. But he looks fantastic. I'm going to get his weapons attached to the bottom. Put this over here so the molded details on the outside and the hollowed out is on the inside. But man, this guy has some guns. I'm not sure if the wing parts are supposed to be guns, but there's a hole in there. But he has a gun here, double guns here, and looks pretty awesome. Pretty sweet. Set this guy down and I'm going to bring in the G1. And here is the G1 Triggerhappy. Bring this guy in. And again, this is one of my favorite Target Masters from the G1 line, just because they brought out this Cybertronian look, and I was really loving that. But put them side by side where you can see where he takes his inspirations. The wing paint is very similar. The Decepticon logo on the wing paint. They have this one on the angle. Let me move his Target Master, which name is Blowpipe, as well as the Titan Master on here, name is Blowpipe. But you can see the guns, the double guns on the side are the same. The design of the wings are the same. This is actually sleeker and better. This is like 80s bulk here. But I still love it. But this thing is sleek. This is awesome. I would love to see this in some type of live action adaptation. And you can see where they took the little gold copper tone vents and put them over here. They're not rounded, but they kept the same ideal in mind making it. Bring them around, turn them around backwards. And you can see the double exhaust vents from the jet engines on the back on both of these guys. You can see where the legs tuck underneath, and these actually wrap around. And the modern take on it is actually better. I mean, I love this figure, still do. He could have benefited from some wings up here like this one. I mean, this is what you pretty much imagine the G1 was as a kid. This thing is really spectacular. This has to be my favorite Titans Return Deluxe class figure so far. It was Cup. Now it's this guy, Triggerhappy. He didn't disappoint in G1, and I don't think he disappoints here. These guys side by side. Yeah, oh, he has a little landing gear under here as well. Set him down. And I'm going to get these guys in robot mode and come right back. Alright, these guys are in robot mode once again. We're going to take a look at some of the similarities and the differences and the updates on this figure. Of course, the ball joints. If these guys would have had ball joints back then, woo! This one is leaps and bounds better in terms of articulation, obviously 30 plus years later. But the G1 face sculpt, he had a complete face. He had the visor, he had the nose, the mouth, chin, complete face. And this is more or less how he appeared on the cartoon. I'm getting light on it with the mouthpiece like Optimus Prime. So more cartoon accurate here, but his face isn't bad either. They kept the red in there, and these eyes are yellow and these eyes are orange, obviously. And where he has the cockpit on the front, like a lot of the G1 jets, they opted to swing it back here, to split it and swing it back here, and still give him the illusion of the cockpit right here, which is very, very clever, very well done. He has the cream hands and arms, the same thighs, even though his thighs are very squat. He has the same scissor type feet that come together. The back, really no kibble over here. The cockpit's on the back over there. So very faithful creation, which I really love. And actually he's been updated better. Wish they had made this guy a little bit bigger, even though these guys are oversized compared to most of the G1s in their class at the time. But really like what they did here. And this is my favorite Titans Return Deluxe class figure so far. Probably my favorite Titans Return figure so far. And I really don't have any complaints with it. It's excellent. As with all Hasbro incarnation, it might have benefited from a little bit more paint apps, a little bit more detailing, but solid figures, very solid in jet mode. It's very solid in robot mode. Great articulation. Looks to have plenty of posability, even though I haven't posed it. I'll pose it when I make the pictures at the end. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this figure. He's still on shelves now. I've had it in my possession for a while now, but if you don't have it, you can still pick it up at Target, Walmart, Toys R Us. He's a shelf warmer. And I think it's because he's overproduced, not because he's not selling. Very cool figure. I love it. I'm 80s Transformer fan. This is George saying I'll see you soon.